Some of the best opportunities in cryptos are not in the big names like Bitcoin or Ethereum, but in the undervalued gems that people are sleeping on. This video, I'll show you my top 5 crypto underdogs that has massive upside potential in this bull cycle. Each from a different sector like Layer 1, real world asset, AI deep pin, and of course a meme token. All of these coins have a potential of going up 10 to 20x in this cycle, so make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to Crypto Ninjas. And don't forget, if you're trading on Binance, make sure to use our referral code on the screen right now for 20% off of the trading fees for life and up to $100 in new user bonus. Without further ado, let's jump right into our first token called Injective. Injective is one of the fastest growing layer 1s right now, and it's criminally underrated. Built on the Cosmos SDK with native interoperability, Injective is laser focused on decentralized finance or DeFi, right? We're talking lightning fast transactions, near zero fees, and a protocol design that makes building DEXs, derivatives platform, prediction markets very simple. And it's not just tech hype, the ecosystem of Injective is growing rapidly with projects like Helix, Ethena, Hydro Protocol, and of course ONDO Finance building on top of it. When it comes to the validators, we also have Citadel One, Binance, Everstake, Figment, Galaxy Digital, Hextrust, Ledger, Entity Digital, TwinStake, and more than that. Those are some of the sharpest institutional players in crypto. Recently, Injective received massive institutional interest. So, for example, Canary Capital launches Delaware Trust for Injective back in June 2025, and just 1 month later, it files for a staked Injective ETF proposal. Now, yes, it is a physically backed yield-generating ETF based on staked Injective, right, token. If approved, this would be one of the very first ETFs in the United States to offer exposure to staking rewards on a native layer 1 token. That's a huge deal. It bridges the gap between TradFi and DeFi, and it signals growing confidence in Injective's long-term value and security. But it doesn't stop there. Google Cloud, as you can see, joins Injective as validators, and also Deutsche Telekom also joins Injective as validators. These are the two titans in tech and telecom, right? That's a massive sign of credibility and robustness. I mean, when these types of institutions are validating the blocks on Injective blockchain, it tells the investors that Injective is serious, all right? It's serious business with serious players. It's not just another crypto pump and dump. And, on the European front, we have 21 shares. Here we go. Launches the Injective ATP with staking on Euro next. Now, look at this. This gives European investors very easy and regulated access to Injective ecosystem, while still benefiting from the staking yields, all without needing a wallet or a Web3 knowledge. Now, I know what you are saying, okay? We're in crypto, we need to have a wallet, but not all the people in traditional markets, they know about this stuff like we do, all right? So ETFs, ETPs, they're amazing tools and amazing bridge connecting those people into Web3 seamlessly. All of these developments, as you can see in recent news, point to one thing. It is institutionals alignment. So if you're looking for a layer 1 that combines, performance with ecosystem growth and real world adoption, then Injective might be your best asymmetric bet right now. As you can see, Injective is sitting at about $14 with the unlocked market cap of just a north of $1.3 billion, okay? Now, the thing about Injective that makes me love it so much is that all of the supply is now in circulation. There won't be any new unlocks, unlike, the newer layer 1s that we have where they still have unlocks for the next like 1 or 2 years, right? It becomes very risky because there will be selling pressure in the future, but not with Injective, okay? All of the tokens are out, so we can be assured that there won't be no sudden sell pressure, okay? So that's one. The second thing is that it has a massive ecosystem growth, as you can see, partnerships. And if you look at the bull market, right, the growing wave of DeFi, decentralized finance, is gonna come back, right? And when the demand going back, Injective could be a layer one breakout by the end of 2025, potentially hitting 5 to 10x compared to this price. If you look at it this way, all right, all of the noise in crypto right now are all geared towards Ethereum, right? Binance Smart Chain, okay? Solana with the memes, okay? And also Sui with the massive recent growth. But the thing about crypto that makes it so good is that all of the gems, they are sitting there in plain sight, being developed, all right? Building partnerships, products, and making momentum, making moves, but nobody is talking about them, okay? But they have huge potential on, on chain, on Web3, and also in the institutional front, in the real world front. Everybody is adopting Injective right now, and nobody's talking about it on Twitter. So that is a big sign that this is a slow ticking bomb ready to explode. Next up is real world asset, all right, the narrative. And no project is owning that lane harder than ONDO Finance right here at about $4.6 billion in market cap, about 95 cents right now, okay? What makes ONDO unique is their institutional first approach to tokenizing real world assets like the US treasuries, bonds, and yield bearing instruments. But I'm not here to explain what ONDO Finance is in details. That's going to be for another video, okay? There are some big news surrounding ONDO Finance that I think we should all know about. First is the ONDO Catalyst, scaling on-chain capital markets with about $250 million in funding. This is a strategic investment vehicle designed to fast-track the launch of on-chain capital markets infrastructure, okay? This fund fuels the innovation across tokenized treasuries, bond-based instruments, and other regulated real-world asset products. It's not just capital, all right? It's not just putting money out there. It's a growth engine aimed at fostering institutional-grade protocols and financial tooling. Next up, we have ONDO Finance to acquire Oasis Pro, an SEC registered broker-dealer, alternative trading system, and transfer agent. Now, what that means is that now ONDO has full regulatory compliance baked into its operations. Okay, with Oasis Pro's infrastructure, ONDO can now issue, trade, and custody tokenized assets under US securities laws, something that no other real world asset project in crypto can claim. And to top it all up, ONDO Finance also launches the Global Markets Alliance with industry leading wallets, exchanges, and custodians to bring capital markets on chain. As you can see, the alliance include ONDO Finance, Solana Foundation, Jupiter, BitGet Wallet, Trust Wallet, 1inch, BitGo, Fireblocks, Rainbow, Alpaca, and I think there will be more in the pipeline. This alliance provides seamless settlement, institutional grade custody, and liquidity across multiple platforms. So if you put it all together and you have ONDO building the foundational layer of regulated and tokenized tradable assets, bringing TradFi and DeFi using compliant infrastructure backed by deep-pocketed capital and supported by vetted service providers. For US and global investors, ONDO is probably among one of the only projects delivering real-world utility inside regulatory guardrails. So if on-chain capital markets go mainstream, ONDO is positioning to be the backbone of it, right? So a highly undervalued narrative with massive runway ahead. Next target for ONDO is, I think, $2 easily, right? Right now, as you can see, we're sort of like in this resistance right here at about $1. If we were able to break this resistance right here and it becomes support, then next target is obviously the previous all-time high, which is about $2.04, which I think ONDO can break easily. Next category is AI, okay? And we all know that AI is taking over, but most AI crypto projects are just buzzwords slapped on tokens. But BitTensor, or TAO, is different, TAO. It's creating an incentivized, decentralized machine learning network where developers and AI models compete to provide intelligence and get rewarded in Tau token. So this is Tau right now, sitting at about $373 with the market cap about $3.5 billion, FDV about $7.8 billion. A little bit about BitTensor or Tau before we dive into the price prediction. So BitTensor main goal is that it aims to decentralize AI development using a unique UMA consensus model, okay, where the validators can evaluate the machine learning models and reward contributions in Tau tokens. So the network now hosts, I think, over 113 subnets, and its market cap is again briefly around at the all-time high, about like what, $7 billion in market cap. So we still have a little ways to go until we reach the all-time high, but I think we can really do that in this cycle, okay? Because if you look at some of the recent news that we have about Tau, it's very bullish. Is Tau Synergies becomes the largest public holder of BitTensor token with $10 million purchase. And then we also have BitTensor infrastructure firm XTAO to debut on Canada's TSX Venture Exchange. And they recently, after raising like $22.8 million from Animoca, DCG, and other institutional funds. And I know what you say. I mean, by the look of it, Tau isn't a cheap, token. $373. I guess is one of the highest in terms of per token price in crypto right now. But if you look at the market cap, right, it's only about $3.5 billion compared to some of the top tier projects in crypto. I think is still very much undervalued compared to its current position within its respective category, and that is AI. Okay, now for the patient holders, if you want, you can again, I'm not saying that you should buy right here. I'm saying that Tau token in this bull cycle, it can also break the all-time high, just like ONDO, right? First, it has to break this recent resistance, and then it's gonna break the all-time high, targeting the all-time high next, and I think it's gonna break that all-time high, moving up to about $800 to $900. So that's an easy 2 to 3x from this price. Now we've come to our fourth category, and that's gonna be DePIN. I know that you've heard about it, all right? A couple of months back, DePIN was a very big narrative, but in this recent bull run, I feel like the attention is all into memes and whatnot. But it's still a very big narrative, and if you are bullish about AI, then you have to be bullish about DePIN as well, because it is decentralized physical infrastructure networks. Okay, it provides a networks and a physical infrastructure to power the AI narrative. Okay, a huge new category in crypto, and this one token is really undervalued in my opinion, and it's called AITECH. All right, the project name is Solidus AITECH. AITECH focuses on building decentralized GPU cloud infrastructure. Okay, something very essential for AI, gaming, metaverse, and deep learning. Now, this infrastructure, including an Agent Forge, which is a platform where you can create your own AI, right, and utilize it for your daily tasks. It includes an AI marketplace, a data center marketplace. Basically, if you look at the ecosystem, right, it's a lot. But the thing that is the most impressive about AITECH is its current developing data center in Romania. I think last time I checked, it was over 8,000 square meters. Okay, a massive infrastructure. Okay, now equipped with a top tier, top notch, highest tech, you name it, hardwares. Okay, powering and providing like a decentralized service for AI companies. Okay, so advanced and that they recently secure a 3-year deal, with a global leading company, okay, who will be utilizing the compute power from AI Tech's data center. This deal creates a solid revenue generating use case that proves market demand for AI Tech's infrastructure. If we look at different infrastructures in the space right now, yeah, they all announce partnerships and whatnot, but we don't know what's happening in the background. We don't know if they really have revenue, or how much is that revenue coming into the ecosystem, and is it enough to run the whole operation. But if you look at AITECH and what they have achieved so far, and with all the partnerships and deals, they do have a real need for their product, and I think that is an essential part if you want to run like a tech coin. All right, when you talk about meme coin, you don't really care about revenue and whatnot, but if you think about tech coin, they need sustainable revenue in order to fit into the ecosystem. And AITECH is doing just that, right? Building a great infrastructure that is market fit, right? Because decentralized GPU, it's crucial. If you look at centralized GPU providers like AWS or Google, I mean, it cannot catch up to the current AI trend rise. All right, we are in a shortage, all right, or a squeeze, you can call it, in the GPU supply. Okay, I mean the US is even the US want to build their own data centers, all right, not relying on others. That is how we are desperately in need of data centers and these infrastructures. And AITECH is providing just that. They have real needs, and if you look at all of their, again, different ecosystem products like the Agent Forge for the users, compute marketplace and whatnot, they are a comprehensive ecosystem. All right, and if you look at their token, it is now only at about $61 million in market cap, relatively, to me, relatively low cap to what they are aiming at in the future. Okay, and so for AITECH, I'm very bullish about this token. I think that if you accumulate a DCA, it can pay off huge later as the demand surges. And my targets for AITECH in the short term actually is 0.1. That's the short term targets. And in the long term targets, I'm looking at 0.3 and 0.4, breaking the previous all time high. That's an easy 10x with AITECH. And we can go even higher than that. All right, because even at a 10x, we're looking at about what, $600 million in market cap. This project, if their data centers, catch more attention and get more deals from big players, I think that it can be as big as $1 billion. Okay, and finally, let's move on to our last category of this video, and that's my fifth pick as well. And this will be, a very risky pick. Obviously, it's memes. Okay, so it's not a joke. It's very risky. You know how it is. If you invest in memes, then you gotta invest with the amount of money that you are comfortable of losing, right? I got a lot of memes that I want to show you guys, but that's gonna be for another video, okay? Because some meme they have different types of memes traders, right? So you can either be a degen who's in the trenches all day every day looking at the charts, right? Look at the trends, look at the tweets, try to find like $20,000-$30,000 entry, market cap entry. It's super risky, but it's super rewarding, but it's super frustrating as well, very tired. But if you find a runner, again, super rewarding. Okay, or you can be a little more chill, a little bit more relaxed, and find the memes that are the leader of its respective new trend. And I think that I found it, and it's called troll. Okay, nobody is talking about troll, and I actually have been paying attention to troll for quite some time now. I'm not even kidding. I've been paying attention for quite some time. I've been trading it, but I'm not like a meme holder. Okay, but I finally got a chance to take a look, take a step back and look at troll, from a more serious standpoint. Okay, and I realized that this could be a start of a new trend narrative. Okay, so if you look at troll right now, it was being traded at around like what, 13, 15, 14, 16 cents. I'm sorry, 1 cent, 1.4, 1.5 cent. All right, at about what, like 15, around $15 million in FDV. And in the last couple of days, it rallied up to like 5 cents. So basically $50 million in FTV. That's an easy 4x for Trill. Why is that? I think that it's forming into a new trend. It's trying to start a new trend, and that new trend is going to be a troll face meme. All right. If you guys don't know about troll face, this is their website, right? Troll face. And I think that if you're watching this video, you guys all know what this meme is. All right, troll face. We all know what this meme back in early 2000s. Okay, of the internet days. And when we talk about history and we talk about the root of troll face, it is one of the more deeply rooted memes within the culture. Okay, you can compare it to Pepe. Trollface can be compared to Pepe when it comes to the lore, when it comes to the legends behind it, all right, to the usage, use cases, and popularity. Okay, and now finally now it broke out of its resistance at about 2.3 cent, 23.20, around $20 million NV, and it ran all the way up, breaking all-time highs after all-time highs, and now we're at $50 million in FTV. Now I think that if this keeps on happening in the next couple of days, we're going to be seeing a lot of these troll phase or like meme phase memes being created on pump fund, bong fund, whatever it is you call it, and that's going to be a start of a new meme trend. Okay, and troll phase being the leader of that trend, I think it can pump up to at least $500 million in market cap. That's at least a 10x from this price. And if that trend continues, I think it can go up to the billions. Because again, look at Pepe and how crazy Pepe was. Back in the day, went up to right now. Pepe is at $5 billion in market cap, $5 billion, right? And again, troll phase, when you compare it to Pepe, it can be at the same status. It can be equally compared to Pepe when it comes to the lore and the popularity. Okay, so I don't see why not. I don't see any reason why, if troll cannot be as popular as Pepe in terms of in crypto. But I'm going to be very conservative. I'm going to say that at least it's going to go up to $500 million and to $1 billion. So that's an easy 10 to 20x. Now again, if you want to invest in troll phase, then you have to be certain that that is the amount of money that you're comfortable losing. It's still at the end of the day memes. Okay. So yeah, that's my opinion. And if you are trading, if you want to trade troll, right now there are several exchanges you can buy it on, but I recommend like a DEX, obviously, or you can buy it on Binance Alpha. And if you don't have a Binance account, make sure to use our referral code on the screen right now for 20% off our trading fees on spot futures market for life. All right, and up to $100 if you are a new user. So let's do a recap, all right, of our list of top 5 crypto currencies that are undervalued. We have first Injective, blockchain layer 1. We have ONDO Finance. We have BitTensor or Tau. We have AITECH, and then we have TROLL, all right, a meme coin with breakout potential on Solana. These aren't my random picks, all right. They are chosen for strong fundamentals, growing adoption, and narratives with legs into 2020, late 2025 and into 2026. Okay, so what is your favorite? Let me know, comment down below and tell me what you think about my picks. And do you have any altcoins that you'd like to see me cover next in future videos? Let me know. All right, and if you're trading any of these, make sure to like and subscribe to CryptoNinjas for more crypto content. And yeah, this is daily, and I'll see you on our next video.